4, 5. Hello, everyone. Welcome to depending on when you're listening to this is either the third or fourth episode of On the Couch with the Dogs Board. But hey, we'll fix that in post production. I am here with a special guest, an internet personality. He's a voice actor, stunt stunt man, uh, professional video game player, YouTuber, and all around media polymath. I'm talking about none other the man in the mask, Black Pauldron. But hey, I'll let him introduce himself the way he wants to as well.
No, I think you gave me a bit more of an introduction than I was expecting. But yeah, pretty much, I'm a man in the mask, Black Pauldron. What's going on?
Okay. You know, so here's the first question I want to ask, Pauldron. What made you decide to create this persona, this Doctor Doom esque, Darth Vader esque persona?
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of black and long coats. But aside from that, the origins of my name is really where the character comes from. I was playing a game called Munchkin. It's a tabletop game, kind of like simplifies the rules of Dungeons and Dragons down to a card game. But there was this one in particular card that I heard while I was passing by the table they were playing at. And it was called Blacker Than Black Pauldron. Okay, and this is a piece of armor that you would put on your character. I thought that name was so interesting, especially because I never heard of the game before. So I looked up the game and I ended up trying to look for that specific card. And I couldn't find it anywhere. So I just held on to the name for posterity. And eventually it became the name for my character. The mask comes in later, of course. That was just inspired by keeping my that was basically inspired by just keeping my real life away from my YouTube life, my internet personality. Really just to drive home the illusion of a persona. So that's pretty much it.
That's something that me and you share. We both have personas, and we both have, I would say, pen names, essentially stage names, that helps mask and also enhance our presence to whoever is reading or watching our content. But speaking of that, your persona has led to you creating some YouTube videos, especially YouTube videos and maybe tweets concerning the Steven Universe franchise. From what I've seen personally, you're you are pretty well known, or decently well known in the Steven Universe franchise. Some of your most viewed videos are Steven Universe related, especially concerning the diamonds. So tell me about that. How did you become so well known in the Steven Universe online fandom?
Well, I like to think that I have still a way to go before I'm talked about in circles in the community. However, when I started making YouTube videos, I never thought it would be Steven Universe. I was just inspired by the episode Message Received. This was the episode where they revealed Yellow Diamond, which was like one of the biggest mysterious characters in the show, and it was the day of the reveal. And I just found the episode so inspiring for parody that I just decided, hey, I'm going to spend like 2 days using all of my editing muscles because I've never edited a video to that extent before. And I came up with the now infamous. I think it has over 700,000 views at this point. And that's where it all took off for me. I was so proud of my own work that I was like, I'm going to keep doing this so long as each episode inspires me the way that one did. And I think I have up to I think I have a playlist 5 videos worth now, but that was really what started my YouTube career. I had actually uploaded before, but it was a League of Legends test video or something like that. I just wanted to see what my computer's graphical power was like for rendering videos, and it's poor. The video's still up if any of you want to go check it out. But yeah, so like that video in particular catapulted my the rest of my content. Not just parodies of Steven Universe videos, but I have done a few episode reviews. I have done social commentary within the community. I think I've chastised a couple of YouTubers for their opinions. Of course, I'm combative. But yeah, that video did it right there. I never thought it would be Steven Universe that started me out on YouTube, but there you have it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I personally have only seen a few episodes of the show myself, but I know, especially from me and you, we've had a few conversations before about it. The show gets it may not be the most viewed cartoon on television across the world, but it is one of the most supported financially, especially by its fan base.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, especially by its fans. That's one of the reasons why it's still on television is because of the financial support it gives. But speaking of starting out, uh, let's shift this in terms of gaming. So you are a member of the most winning or most documented winning esports team in history, Empire Arcadia. So tell
Yeah.
me, just you don't you can go as in depth as you want it, as big or small. How did you join EMP, and now that you are a member, obviously you've been a member for a few years. What do you think about the team?
Well, okay, so my whole thing with DMP started directly with its CEO, Triforce Isaiah Johnson. I met him in 2015, and he needed a place to stay while he was in Ohio doing some business. So I had him stay with me, and we hung out for a while. And pretty much through our interactions, I really took to his message and his mission, and that's how I joined Empire Arcadia. Since then, I have been part of the inner circle of Empire Arcadia, helping them plan events, trips, crowd fund, community organization. I'm actually the community manager of Discord that we run, the Commonwealth of Empire Arcadia. And so, yeah, it's been pretty good as far as my experience is concerned. As far as being a player to the team, I'm focused on Soul Calibur at the moment, but I pretty much play everything, so it just depends on where I fit in. But most of my focus in the organization has been through community management.
That's good. That's
I, I
good.
think I think I think I would say I'm the pillar of that.
Right, right. It's always nice to see when we have different esports and professional gaming teams try to broaden their horizons. But speaking of broadening horizons, tell us about some of your, if you don't mind, about some of your upcoming work or some of the work that you already have produced or are producing now,
Okay,
in your personal work.
okay. So outside of YouTube, I'm a writer. I am an artist. I have plans to release my own comic book in 2019. Sooner rather than later, of course. I'm thinking beginning of the year at some point. But yeah, I have a comic book pending. Um, what else am I doing? I'm helping other people produce their works. And I know a lot of writers who really want to get their stuff out there, and I'm trying to create pretty much a coalition for that. I built my own studio in my basement for media production. Oh man, there's so much stuff. Like you said in the introduction, I'm a stunt man. I do practice my own stunts. I'm part of a stunt group called Stunt Predators USA. I've been in a couple films. And ironically, nothing has ever really zoomed in on my face. Anything I've been in, but I was in Surviving Compton, the Michelet movie. I'm in the opening
That was
scene.
a Lifetime film, right?
That was a Lifetime film. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
I'm playing the stepdad in the first scene. Um, what else did I do? I'm in Ben Stiller's Dannemora film. The short film on I believe is it on Netflix? Hmm. It's on Netflix or Showtime. It's one of those two. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's I think it's on Showtime actually. Uh, it's called Escape from Dannemora. I play a prisoner in the riot scene. I'm not sure what episode that is, so don't call me. Don't ask me. But and then the other project that I can remember, I'm also in Smoketown, uh, a religious film, not film, but TV show, a religious TV show. Um, it deals with a lot of stuff actually. It deals with religion. the right to protest, injustice, all that type of stuff. But those are the three projects that I've been in and had on screen time as a stuntman: Dannemora, Smoketown, and Surviving Compton. But other than that, yeah, the pending comic book. I have my own studio. We got a lot of like personal projects, including a short film that we're getting ready to put together this year. Well, starting 2019. But yeah, like the ball's rolling over here, and that's pretty much all that's going on.
Right. That's a lot. And speaking of that, I'm gonna make sure for everyone who's interested that all of the links and information is in the description and also in the comments so everyone can see what he's working on. And maybe if you want to participate, hey, he has a Discord server where he does things through as well. So that'll be a great way to participate in his work, and because he does put a lot of passion and hard work into what he does. But so with that being said, what has been your hardest stunt? Because I know stunts are more than just you getting on zip lines and you getting hit by cars and things like that. But what would you say would be your most difficult stunt that you've ever did?
Okay, so as far as level of difficulty, it would be the fight scene in Smoketown. I'm actually the guy who starts the riot. I throw a brick. That wasn't the hard part though. Throwing the brick was the easy part. It was the actual scene where I tackle a police guy, SWAT guy. Oh no, he was riot patrol. It's when I tackle the riot guy because you got to get past the shield and all that stuff, and then we do this tussle on the concrete. I had protection, of course, but I mean we had to shoot that several times. One time I completely missed the brick toss and everybody was just face palming. But I think falls, because like most of the stuff that we do that you see in stunts that are very well produced, it would be all the high falls and stuff like that. But see, I can deal with the high falls for real. It's the fight scenes that are very the fight scenes are the most difficult because you have to be on point. Your timing has to be perfect all the time, and that's where the level of difficulty there comes in. With falls, it's just how high are you falling.
Wow. Yeah, because a lot of people just don't know how time consuming and energy consuming just basic stunts are. A lot of people just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But so Pauldron, what are any upcoming movies or TV shows or video games that you may be interested in? Because I know the Game Awards, since this interview is also concerning gaming, the Game Awards are coming up on Thursday. Are you interested in any of the rumored games or nominations to be coming out? Because I know one of them that I'm interested in is the Rocksteady Superman game. But you were saying?
I remember nominating Sonic Mania for something, but ultimately, as I am anticipating the Game Awards, Smash Brothers. I just got Darksiders 3. My tastes aren't really based around a whole lot of different things. I've been mostly playing Fortnite and Guild Wars as of recent, including and of course Soul Calibur, which I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I pretty much got everything that I'm invested in. Let's see. But yeah, I remember nominating Sonic Mania for something. I wish I could remember what, but it escapes me at the moment. It was a while ago when I made the nomination.
Well, that's good. That's good because I know what game. I know there's a lot of indie games this year, surprisingly, that have a lot of nominations in main categories. So yeah,
that list was pretty extensive.
That's pretty interesting since you usually don't see that too much during the Game Awards. But and I'll lead into this question that kind of ties into pretty much everything we just talked about, or concerning your work. As a man of color, doing
Mhm.
the type of things you do, usually around nerd culture, um, what has been your experience from that perspective? Has it been harder for you exceptionally? Has it uh, been a drive for you to want to make your a name for yourself even more? Like, how has being a man of color overall affected your experience doing what you do?
So how do I put this? Fortunately, I've been blessed enough to be around a bunch of creative individuals of color as well, who collab with me, exchange ideas, share art, and we've had a pretty good time with it. I haven't had any roadblocks on my way to producing what I want, but I know I'm going to get there eventually. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Like, once you, more money, more problems, more popularity, more drama, all that type of stuff. So, but for now, I've been very blessed to pretty much avoid all of that, as of where I am at right now.
That's good. That's good. So, what would you say for any other young people who wanted to do what you do, or maybe want to go down the same multi-talented road as you?
I mean, if you've got an idea, if you're inspired to do something, just go for it. I think one of the biggest things I have to get over is the fact that I get a little, how do I put it? I procrastinate a little bit, and the only way to get my stuff done is just to do it. And so, like, don't let people's opinions hold you back. Take constructive criticism wherever you can get it, because that's only going to help you become better. Like, don't just write off stuff because people say that it's not as good as, they don't praise it when you're expecting them to. Make sure you're surrounded by good friends, positive people as well. Not yes men, but anybody who's willing to tell you when you could improve something here, or maybe you should try focusing on this area to express yourself a little bit better. Because that's what this is all about: expression and conveying a message. And I think that gets lost a lot when people are just so, like, stuck in what they're doing. But yeah, ultimately, just go for it.
That's always great advice. I've seen many people uh, have burned themselves out creatively by starting their own businesses, or going into careers that they they go into essentially for the wrong reasons, or really just doing something using your art to make money without putting passion into it. That is what burns a lot of people out. And once you don't reach the success initially that you hoped you would, it discourages a lot of people.
Yeah, to expand on that, I would say don't let it become a job.
Right,
Okay, it's got to be fun. You got to maintain the love.
right, right. Because because that can bring you out faster than you actually think it will.
Oh yeah.
But um, but is there any questions that you have for me, or anything that you would like to say?
Well, I do want to say, I've been following your work for a while now, and I'm thankful that you brought me on the show so I could have a platform to talk about myself a little bit. I'm actually kind of bad at that. So when you initially asked me to do this interview, I was a little surprised. So thank you for that. Um, what else do I want to say? Pretty much, I hope we can do this more often. Stuff like this.
Oh, of course, of course. Hey, maybe in the future. Well, I know we've already talked about that actually. In the future, I want you to be a part of our podcast. Just a special guest. 'Cause, I'm always looking for people who comes from all walks of life, all interests, all different types of content that you create, different careers, different ages, ethnicities, creeds, whatever, to be a guest star. And hey, maybe well, this is kind of a sneak peek for our work too. We plan on doing a end of the year podcast, a special podcast to cultivate the year. And hey, maybe Pauldron could be our first official guest star for a podcast.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. But if that is all, Pauldron, we can start closing. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for stating who you are and what you do, because I know there are a lot of people who needs that encouragement and needs to see an image of, a young black man essentially doing what you're doing, going into different walks of life and different ways of career making. So
Mhm.
that's always exciting, and we are very very honored to be able to interview you.
Well, thank you for having me again.
All right, everyone. This is Dr. Clark and Black Pauldron signing out.
Bye.